Hey guys, welcome back to another Operation Arsenal video. Today was the Carabao Cup game against Brentford. No upsets here. Today we've beaten them 3-1, although it was a little bit shaky in places, as these cup games always are. Let's just be real for a second. I know a lot of people are going to be going, oh, it was only Brentford, oh, whatever. There are plenty of examples. One already, Manchester United got knocked out, okay, against Derby. Frank Lampard got one up over his old boss. It's not uncommon for big clubs to get beaten by smaller clubs in cup competitions. It happens every season. So it's good to see that Arsenal didn't fall at this hurdle. That would have been rather embarrassing. But I should say, before we talk about Arsenal and get into the actual match review, that Brentford were pretty decent at times tonight. I think they've got a very nice side there. They've got a couple of players that a few Arsenal fans may recognise. One of them being Yanaris, used to play for Arsenal, of course. They had a really good attempt, okay? It was a good attempt at a potential upset, but in the end, we actually put a quite strong team out tonight, and it was too much. But in fairness, it could have easily still gone Brentford's way. When they got that free kick and scored it, I sat there thinking, you know, I know we're winning 2-1, but this is very Arsenal. This is exactly what we've been going through for many, many years. But it seems maybe we're turning a new leaf under Unai Emery. We seem to have a real togetherness. And I'm not saying that with Wenger as manager that we didn't have togetherness, but it certainly feels like with the group of players we've got right now, everyone is rooting for each other. Everyone's got everyone's back. You know, I love to see that in a team. Look at Manchester United. I'm sorry to talk about them again, but it's a great example of a team that have so many great players and the potential to be one of the best teams in the world. But you can clearly see there's some real friction in their squad. And of course, Mourinho doesn't help. Okay, so it's nice to see that at Arsenal, under a new manager, so quickly that we've really gelled. This is another win. We're now, 6 wins in a row. Really, really impressive form. And yes, it was against a lower side today, a lower league side. It doesn't matter though. You can only beat who's in front of you. And we did it convincingly overall, I would say. There were moments in the second half where Brentford could have got a goal back again, but 3-1 says it all. I think that's actually a fair result. So where do I start? Was I happy with the lineup tonight? Absolutely. I feel like this is a great opportunity when we get cup games to give a go to the kids. You know, I hate calling them the kids, but it's quite an easy way of saying the youngsters that don't normally get into the first team, right? So we got to see Smith Rowe tonight, who I thought there was one moment where he had a cross which he just completely skewed, and we probably would have scored if he nailed it. Otherwise, though, was really good tonight, and I really enjoyed watching him. Was he the only real youngster that got a shout tonight? I mean, we had a lot of fringe players play, so not necessarily all the youngsters. I would have liked to seen a few more youngsters, but it doesn't really matter because we've got Welbeck on fire. He's definitely a fringe player. He came in today, got 2 goals, which was really nice. Could you say Mkhitaryan? I don't think he's a fringe player, but certainly isn't in the first team at the moment, and he got a really good run in tonight. He played fantastically well. Lichtsteiner. Now, Lichtsteiner, I've got to be honest here, when he played in the game against Man City, right at the start of the season, when Maitland-Niles got injured and he came on at left-back, he did really well. Tonight, I was excited to see him play again. Of course, he played well the other day as well in the Europa League. I thought he did very well. But tonight against Brentford, we saw a real good performance from Lichtsteiner. A proper right-back. He did everything a right-back should do. Can he do it against bigger clubs, bigger teams? Of course he can. There's no doubt in my mind he's probably the most experienced player in our squad, bar Petr Cech. And there's something about Lichtsteiner. He just seems to give our defence a bit more confidence. There's one thing that I should say, though, that I love about Bellerin, and that's not necessarily Bellerin's crossing ability, but he does cross it at the right time. I feel like with Lichtsteiner, there's plenty of examples tonight where he crosses it too late. It feels like he wants to get right to the byline. He wants to cross it as late as possible, which maybe worked in Italy. It maybe works for Switzerland in a different setup, but with Arsenal, I feel like you've got to get the ball early to the strikers. You've got to release the cross earlier, and Bellerin's quite good at that. And I'm not saying his crossing's better than Lichtsteiner, because I don't actually think that. I think Lichtsteiner's got a really good delivery on him, but the timing of the crossing is more important almost than the delivery itself, I feel like, because if you cross it early but you skew it slightly, it's not the greatest of balls in, you've still got a huge chance of someone latching onto it because the play's still there. When you advance too far, you get to the byline, cross it, it's often too late, and that was happening a lot tonight. He was getting in great positions to cross the ball in, and with target men like Welbeck in there, we would be scoring a lot more goals if maybe he just did it a bit earlier. But really solid performance from him. I thought Holding was great as well tonight. Really holding his own. I'm sorry. Really, really good though. I like Holding. I do. He's such a good defender when he wants to be. I know he lacks confidence sometimes, but he's got what it takes to be a great defender. And Mustafi, again, people don't give him enough credit. This season he's been pretty consistent. I actually rate him at the moment. I think he's done a very good job. He still goes to the ground too often and still makes some weird decisions in terms of where he should be. Positionally, you know, if you look at a world-class defender, there you can see the difference. It's light and day. But I really, really thought Mustafi was good tonight again. And there was a few occasions where without him, I think we would have potentially conceded. So, yeah, well done to him. And Monreal on the left. Might as well include all the defenders. Monreal had a great game as well. Should have scored. He headed the ball right at the keeper in the second half. It was a great reaction save. If he just got the header slightly to the left or slightly to the right, would have scored. And it wouldn't have been his first for Arsenal. He scores quite a few, actually. Now, let's talk about Leno. Another fringe player. Not quite in the first team, but maybe could be. I still think that Leno should be starting for us. I thought tonight he had a very, very solid game. Except from one moment. The goal. The goal we conceded. I'm not blaming Leno for the goal, but I certainly think Cech would have saved it. I think that there was an issue with where Leno was standing. When the free kick was taken, I'm not sure why he wasn't in a better position to save that, because it wasn't particularly powerful. It wasn't right in the corner. I think most times when you see a free kick like that taken, it's going to get saved, no matter who's in goal. So I don't know if it was a lack of, I don't know, maybe it was a lack of communication with him and the wall. He got confused, or just a mistake. He was out of position. So that was disappointing, but ultimately it doesn't mean anything. We haven't lost the game. It was a shame to not get another clean sheet, though. Other than that, I thought Leno was very impressive tonight. You can see he's more comfortable with the ball at his feet. You can see he's a great shot. Oh my God, I can't speak. What is wrong with me? It's late, okay? Shot stopper. There we go. He's just as good as Petr Cech, I think, at shot stopping in most examples that I've seen so far, in most situations. But Petr Cech has the experience, and that's why I think he would have saved that free kick. I wanted to mention someone else. Guendouzi, that was it. Guendouzi, wow. This guy, what a signing he's proved to be. Tonight was one of our best players, bar a few mistakes here and there, a few heavy touches. But the way he gets the ball, head up, moves forward. Always picks a pass out forward. He's not a Granit Xhaka, who gets the ball and passes it sideways. Although Granit Xhaka does do a bit more than that. I'm just using him as an example because he does do a lot of sideways passing. What Guendouzi does is he keeps us moving. I really like that in a midfielder, and for someone so young to do that in a club like Arsenal with some absolutely brilliant players around him is really impressive. And once again tonight really impressed me. So, you know, I think Guendouzi has been one of our best players this season so far. And as well as him, another Frenchman that deserves a mention for sure is Lacazette. Wow, what a goal. This guy's on fire right now. He's full of confidence. Him and Aubameyang are going to score a lot of goals this season. But I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction now. Based off current form, and if we keep the same formation, the same system that we're using, I think Lacazette is going to get more goals than Aubameyang because we're pushing Aubameyang out wide, which, fine. You know, if he's okay with doing it and he still contributes and he's still the best player for that position in this system, then do it. Doesn't matter who scores the goals. If Lacazette gets in these positions more, I mean, I see him scoring 20 at least in the Premier League this season, and maybe Aubameyang would get 10, 15, something like that, which is great. If they can both score 10 plus goals, that's what we've been missing for so long now, just goals. We've got goals everywhere on the pitch now, which is really good. But the biggest shout out of all tonight goes to Unai Emery, because I see him on the touchlines and it's so refreshing. You have no idea. If you're not an Arsenal fan, or at least if you're a supporter of a club where the manager likes just to sit on the sidelines and, you know, just kind of relax, watch the game like a fan, you will know how annoying it is. So when you start seeing your new manager looking really passionate, he's on the side barking orders in a League Cup game, which we're winning 3-1 at the time. He's barking orders, he's telling players what to be doing. He looks like he's up for it. And I really, really like him. I really like Unai Emery. His English is getting better and better every week. It's only going to get better. And I can't wait to hear more about the philosophy, the idea about the system that we're using, because we're putting pressure on teams, which we didn't really do very much under Wenger. We're still playing attractive football. It might not be that Wenger ball that we're so used to, but take the Mkhitaryan. Was it Mkhitaryan who scored it? No, it wasn't. It was Mkhitaryan who started the build-up. It was Welbeck that finished it. The passing and moving was Wenger ball. It really was. And although we don't see it maybe as much, it's still there. We still have that DNA. This is Arsenal Football Club. We play nice football. But we're just a better team. We're a better unit. Although it's early days, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. So we go through, which is good. No upsets here. I saw that Chelsea beat Liverpool, which was a surprise. I thought Liverpool were going to win that game. Yes, I've seen Hazard's goal. Wow. This guy is incredible. One of the best players in the world for sure. We all know that. But I'm just so pleased that we've got another win. And now on to the weekend. Really excited for the next game. Although it's a tough one. It's Watford. They're in some good form this season. So hopefully I'll be recording a video just like this, saying how happy I am with the team and how happy I am with a result. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you drop a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next time.